25 years, actor extraordinaire, the GCJ of the SSA of Champion of the World. This is JP Will. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, I am doing great. Your hair is coiffed. It looks fantastic.
I know. I got a play to go to after this. So
Nice. What play?
Our good friend of the show, Mr. Gary Morgenstein, he wrote a play, and I'm about to go see it.
Nice. A little New York theater for you.
Exactly. So I'm really looking forward to that. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Ready to jump into this holiday-themed film.
Yeah, because today our feature presentation is The Long Kiss Goodnight,
which I believe neither of us had ever seen before, right?
I've never seen it, and I gotta tell you, absolute delight.
Yeah. Oh, it was a delight. A Shane Black joint.
This was so Shane Black too. Like,
oh yeah,
vintage Shane Black. I mean, just the dialogue, like just the silly, like it. This is a funny movie.
Yeah, it really has like some really great moments. Samuel L. Jackson is great. Gina Davis is awesome. She's badass.
She's so good.
There's a lot of great character actors in this movie too. It was just awesome. I loved it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But before we get into that, what do you want to watch and read and see and doing this week?
Big one I watched was Bullet Train. That one was a lot of fun.
Oh, I've been meaning to see that. How was it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So fun. Brad Pitt is awesome and aging like a goddamn fine wine. He's almost 60 years old, looking awesome. So many other great people in it, and of course the action is awesome. It's so much fun. Brian Tyree Henry is great. Yeah, so much good stuff. What's that?
It's Fastus in the Eternals.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that. Is it? Should I watch it?
It's fine.
Okay, that's all I've heard about it. Is it's fine.
If you have Disney Plus, yeah, sure, but don't spend it.
Sure. I have Disney Plus, so I'll check it out. Let's see what else. I read the most recent issue of 8 Billion Genies, which is great.
I've heard about that. Did I mention that to you, or did you just?
I think I might have mentioned it to you. I want to say.
Maybe I had heard about it on Weekly Planet, our friend Mr. Sunday Movies. They were talking about it. I was like, ooh, that's something. How is it?
It's wild. It's so great. I'm really liking it so far. I think this was the 4th or 5th issue that just came out. So I'm digging it so far.
Nice. Yeah, that's one I'm gonna check out soon, I hope.
Yeah. But that's really kind of about it. What about you? What have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing this week?
Not a whole lot. There was some news.
Yes.
A bit of DC news.
Ooh, some big old news.
Yeah, it turns out it looks like James Gunn's just cleaning the house.
As he should, because the shit hasn't been working out.
Yeah, I mean, I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I like Jason Momoa as. I mean, I like every actor they have playing the characters that they've constructed. But yeah, it's time to be done with the Snyderverse.
Yeah, it's time to just move on, clean slate. And James Gunn apparently is planning 10 years plus,
as he should be. I mean, that's what they should be doing, and they just never have.
Well, you heard what the rumor is about Jason Momoa, right?
Yeah, my least favorite. I hate Lobo.
I know. I read that and I was like, Hans is not going to be happy.
Look, he's perfect for that. But the characters, that character, they just want him to be cool so bad. No, he's not. He's not cool. He sucks. Lobo. Hate that guy.
But if anybody can do it, if anybody can make it awesome, I feel like it's James Gunn.
Well, yeah, like I trust him completely with what he's done. I mean, look at everything he's done. Like how many misses does he have?
I mean, really, none at this moment. Yeah,
like he's Cameron-esque, where Cameron has no misses.
Yeah, which apparently, speaking of that, early reviews for Avatar are saying it's like, quote, mesmerizing, incredible, stories better than the first one.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the visuals are just amazing. I don't like 3D, but that might be one I actually have to partake.
Is that still a thing?
3D. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know if that was offered anymore.
Oh yeah, almost every like big movie like that. I mean, any Marvel movie, anything like that is offered in 3D. I just never do it because I hate it.
And I don't want to pay the extra, $3, $5, $10.
Like, it's like distracts me. Like I hate having to have the thing in my head and like it's just all, no, I'm good.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, what else? I really want to see Violent Night.
I do too. I really do.
Good things.
Yeah, I've been hearing so many great things. I mean, gosh, I feel like we're definitely gonna watch
David
that.
Harbour, like that's enough to get me into a theater. But
David Harbour, Johnny Legs as the bad guy.
Johnny Legs.
John Leguizamo for all you people who don't get our humor.
They know.
I don't know. What do you think? Should anything else, or should we get into this bad?
Other than that, a little video game bit, Jedi Fallen Order, the sequel. It's a trailer. I had to stop a little peek behind the curtain. I had to stop playing the first one because I have a thing with spiders. And one jumped out of the floor at me. So I paused it through the controller and I never came back. So hopefully we don't visit that planet anymore. But I'll be Googling that first.
Yeah.
But it looks great. But yeah, let's do this.
Let's get into it.
Feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
The Long Kiss Goodnight from 1996 is 68% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, a 70% from the audience, directed by Rennie Harlan, starring Gina Davis as Samantha Kane / Charlie Baltimore, Samuel L. Jackson as Midge Hennessy, Patrick Malahide as Leland Perkins, Craig Bierko as Timothy, Brian Cox as Dr. Nathan Waldman, and David Morse as Luke.
I love David Morse. He's always such a great little side character.
Second in command in The Rock.
And Green Mile.
So good.
Fun little fact: Craig Bierko, the guy who plays Timothy, the shithead in this movie, he turned down Chandler Bing for Friends.
Oops.
Yeah. And apparently he had to come to terms with him being the guy in town that turned down Friends.
Yeah, that's not a scarlet letter you want to wear.
No. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just missed out on like $100 million. My bad.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. Oh no, Craig.
No. So Rennie Harlan, I didn't realize he's directed a lot of stinkers, like
he's also done Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2.
Yes, he has. I was going to mention that, and one movie that we've been meaning to do on the show for a long time, Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah, he was Deep Blue Sea. Oh my god, yeah. I love all those.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
All right, let's get into this. We kick off with a little Christmas parade. The whole like crux of this movie is Samantha Gina Davis. She has amnesia.
Yeah, she has amnesia that is brought back by a car accident with a horny old man.
Right. Yeah, 'cause she only remembers like 8 years prior.
Yeah.
I like how she's like, I was born 8 years ago.
Yeah, that was interesting.
She's all married now. No clue who she was before.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get our first look at Mitch. He shows up, busts some John. He's like basically like running a scam.
He's like a PI /kind of con man kind of dude.
I love you make an ass when you assume you make an ass out of me and umption. Not the same.
And then he's like really laying it on thick, and he's like, I could see from your choice, you're not a wealthy man. And the woman is like, What the fuck?
Yeah, because they're like in league together.
Yeah.
And did you notice that John was the guy who isn't Judge Reinhold from Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, and he's in so much shit. He's
also
in
in
like Air Force One, Cliffhanger, so much shit.
He's John Lithgow's
The Fed bad guy. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, Samantha is just like driving somewhere in the snow. The old creep she's with gets fresh, and they hit a deer.
That was quite like jarring, and like the deer is like kicking the old guy in the head, and
that's what I've always been afraid of for hitting like a deer, is that their like legs would come through the windshield and just start like pummeling me like that. So that was terrifying for me.
Yeah, incredibly so.
She also, like, when they hit this deer, then they like crash into a tree, and she just flies through the windshield.
Flies through the windshield, lands in the snow, is all messed up, and then she gets up and just breaks this poor deer's neck.
Well, it seems to like jog her memory a little bit.
Yeah, she's having some weird like Tim Burton-esque like dreams or something.
Yeah, and then she, instead of the car's on fire, instead of helping that perv out, like dragging him out, she uses her last strength to just break the deer's neck and just passes out in the snow.
Oh God. And then we cut to really quick a guy. I'm gonna call him Cyclops. Cyclops in prison recognizes her, and he's like, "It can't be true! It can't be true!"
Just in his orange jumpsuit, freaking out. Like, okay, I guess that's gonna come back. It does.
It does.
So she's in the hospital, and we have this like weird little dream sequence, like very Sopranos-esque.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
You ready? You're like, hey, Gina.
All right. Steady on. So she gets back home after the hospital, starts realizing she's got some new skills because she learns it from like chopping the hell out of some carrots.
Yeah, she's so anxious at first chopping a carrot that she cuts her finger. The husband's like, I got it. And she's like, no, I can do it. Looking like Gordon Ramsay up in there, just like, chopping the hell out of these carrots.
She's like a kid, like at the pools, like look at this,
look what I can do. Toss me more shit to cut. She's cutting peppers, she's cutting scallions.
Yeah, she's all
everything.
Her Ginsu.
So and then she throws it at the wall, and it's like chefs do that too.
They don't. So after that, we meet Timothy. He's just like torturing some dude. Gets a call about Charlie Baltimore still being alive, and then just casually shanks the guy.
But also like kind of going in for a hug. Is that?
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Then dude from prison just like shows up at her house. I did like that we had no explanation of how he got out. He just was.
And that he has like a giant shotgun that shoots giant glowing projectiles and makes holes the size of a football field in a wall.
So this is something I've never seen before. It was a shotgun with a grenade launcher underneath, like Arnold's M16 in Predator had the grenade launcher underneath.
Oh, sure.
That's what that was. It was a shotgun, but with that grenade launcher. Because I said that too. Because when he blows the hole, I was like, "What's he like, Ryu from Street Fighter? He's like throwing fireballs. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah. I didn't get that. Nice catch.
Yeah, it was a grenade launcher underneath. That's why he only had the one. But then he's like cocking it like Terminator 2. And
yeah, and then she grabs her daughter and just throws her out the hole in the house to her.
Grabs her by the pants and tosses her like a sack of potatoes out the hole in the wall. It's unbelievable.
And she's getting her ass kicked, but gets the upper hand in the fight by throwing a lemon meringue pie in his face.
I wrote knocks him out with a lemon meringue and then snaps his neck.
Yeah, and licks the blood. And then her husband's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "Chefs do that too."
Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Oh man,
that's when I was
ridiculous.
like, oh, I need to pay a little more attention because this is not what I thought it was. This is amazing.
Not by a long shot.
So like the cops show up, but I thought Mitch was a cop at first. I didn't realize he was like a PI. Like,
yeah, so
she
mentions. Yeah, she mentions offhandedly in her little narration at the beginning that she used to hire really expensive private investigators. Now she's kind of hiring like bottom of the barrel investigators. Yeah, Mitch Hennessy, aka Sam Jackson, aka Nick Fury, aka Jules.
See, that's the thing. Like there's some ridiculous stuff that happens. We just touched on some of it. But this is a well-written movie. Like
it is
has a reason. Like any offhand remark, it comes back around as like there was a reason for it. You know, everything's to advance the plot.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that with James Gunn and Dawn of the Dead. It was like every single scene, every line spoken has a reason to advance the plot or to set something up for later or what have you. It doesn't matter.
Clearly
set up doesn't always make any like sense as far as physics go.
Yeah. I mean, clearly Shane Black is an incredibly competent writer.
Right.
Does all of his stuff have through lines all the time? Not exactly. But
I mean, all this did, it's just like the through lines weren't always things that made like any type of sense.
Yeah. They were a little cloudy.
With that, with an action movie, like
Sure.
We're in an action movie world, you know. We're in Last Action Hero. Like they were playing by action movie rules, which are nonsensical, but they're playing by them.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm good with that. So then we just like quick cut to the White House.
Yeah, the president is like cooking a turkey or something.
I don't know what he's doing. But he's like very aware of her and like that she was like this secret agent spy, like, you know,
relic of the Cold War. I love that term.
It's so ridiculous. So she's a big deal, apparently. Then her and Mitch start taking like a bit of a road trip. She goes off with him in his stupid little bucket hat.
And he almost wrecks his car because he sees some lady jogging, which where the hell does this lady live? She's jogging in the middle of a frozen tundra.
The sticks. I don't know. Yeah, he almost kills him checking out that jogger. And then I really liked her calling him on it. And then there's like a 3-minute conversation of her being like, what do you get out of this? Like, which is fantastic. There's also a lot of shade thrown at her for like her body and stuff, which is odd throughout the movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about. But they're all like she's frumpy and like some like gross like old lady, but it's like, no, she's Gina Davis. She's fine.
It's Gina Davis. She's beautiful. And she's a movie star. She's not frumpy.
Yeah, it's very strange, but that's like a running joke. But it's like, but it doesn't really land because you see her like essentially in her underwear in the water scene later. It's like clearly
and she's jacked too, like her arms. Like she's in great shape.
Yeah, it's a very strange joke. It's like they're acting like she's got another 60 pounds on her. I don't know.
And what's odd enough is that the guy who directed the movie was her husband at the time.
I'm guessing they didn't last long after that.
No.
So we have all that, whatever. Then we get Dr. Waldman gets a call about her being alive. Brian Cox, he's on the case.
Fuck off.
Exactly. I love Brian Cox. He's great in this.
And just that moment when he's like, the lady he's with, his dog has been licking himself, and he's like, he's been licking his arsehole for 3 straight hours. How does he say it? He said, whatever's lodged in there, by now he's either gotten it out or it's not going anywhere. He says it a lot more eloquently than I do.
Yeah, I know. He says a lot of ridiculous things, but he says them as Brian Cox says them, and they just work.
Yeah. They just work.
Yeah, because he's Brian Cox.
Yeah, of course. He's the best. He's so good.
He's Mr. Royce, whatever their name is. Royco.
Logan Roy.
Logan Roy, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Roy Cohn.
So yeah, we get this. She then like meets Timothy at a bar. He's like being a real creep. And this is great. Some dude like approaches her, is like about to shoot her, and she runs over to Mitch, and he's got a gun in his pocket, and she just reaches in his pocket and starts shooting out of his pocket.
It was awesome the way she did that.
That's such a cool move. I've never seen anything like that.
I love too how he has this running gag in the movie how he sings stuff to himself so he remembers it, and he's like, dun, 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 got the keys in my left pocket, dun, 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 got the gun in my right hand, and she's like, you got to put that in your pocket, and he's like, why don't you put that down the front of your shirt? He's like, you want me to shoot my dick off? And she's like, oh, you're a sharpshooter?
Yeah, their back and forth is so great. Like,
yeah, they have such great banter.
A+.
Oh, I love it.
It's Shane Black at his finest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she takes care of that guy, and then there's a bunch of other goons everywhere. There's a big shootout, just mow down a bunch of civvies. Poor people just waiting for the bus.
Jeez. Yeah.
They run upstairs, and the bad guys throw like a clear frag grenade that has like a 45-second fuse.
Yeah, I was like, they have a long time for this grenade.
I love his response. Fuck it, run for your life.
And then they shoot the window, jump out the window, shoot the ice, so then they can fall in the water.
She machine guns the ice in the pond below, and I mean, it was like that little frag grenade was like 30 pounds of napalm, like, cause it's just like fire going down the hallway. It's nonsense. It's unbelievable.
So good.
I loved it. Dr. Waldman is just like there, picks him up. He's Johnny on the spot.
Some guy was getting ready to shoot him, and he just like happens to.
Midge is like, we jumped out a window. He's like, yeah, tomorrow we go to the zoo.
And he goes, if he said, are we allowed to talk in front of him? If you have to shoot him, here, use this. I got another one. He's like, how many guns do you have? And he goes, 3. I got one on my shoulder, one on my hip, and one next to Wally. Like his cock.
Which goes back to my earlier point. Every line of dialogue has a reason, because that seemingly like joke throwaway line is a plot point later on. It's an important thing.
I'm in the goddamn PTA. Then quit.
He's so great. They like pull over and have a chat, and he's like giving some exposition. He's like, "You're a trained assassin. You're supposed to do this, 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 and this, whatever." And they're like, "Oh, they think he's in on it," because they're like, "Well, where'd all these people come from?" You know,
right.
Like, how'd they know if you didn't tell them or what have you? And they just like hit him with a tire iron and steal his car.
Not without Sam Jackson getting a swift knee to the testicles.
Yeah, he gets his nuggets bruised a bit. So they drive off, just leaves that. And like she had some postcard or something. Like
that was what kind of was a little cloudy for me. I don't know how they ended up at David Moore's.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with that postcard, because I wasn't completely sure about that either. But I think that was what it was. And yeah, so that's where Luke is. And they get into his farm, and Mitch, he doesn't trust him. She tries to tell him like she knows him because she knows how he pees, and that arouses Mitch a bit. It's weird and awkward.
Yeah.
She goes inside to talk with Luke, and Mitch waits outside. So when Dr. Walton, he shows up, gets the drop on Mitch. Turns out she was supposed to kill Luke. That's why she knows all about him.
Mm-hmm. He was a target.
Yeah, and they go to Warner, but too late. Timothy shows up in a helicopter and a bunch of goons and SUVs and stuff. Knock her out.
Drop on him.
Yep. Take her captive. Tie her up to some like water wheel shit to torture her.
Yeah, one of those old school. God, I don't even know what you would call that.
Yeah, it's just like a lumber mill wheel.
Yes,
like
sure.
I don't know what's going on. And she's all tied up to it, and they dunk her under the first time, and once she's underwater, you see big dead Dr. Walden just floating there.
I like how they didn't show it too. He just ends up in the water.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
Yeah. And they're trying to get information out of her, whatever, send her back again. She gets some like flashbacks, like how she got amnesia. Like she's like shot in the head and fell off a cliff.
Whoa, yeah, and stabbed the guy in the eye, stabbed Cyclops in the eye. That's why he's got one eye, and then she falls off the cliff. But she's also 2 months pregnant, so she got shot in the head, fell like hundreds of feet in the water.
Yeah, I guess drowning like jogs amnesia, apparently.
Sure, apparently.
Whatever. They send her back under again, and that's when she remembers Dr. Waldman. He had a gun in his balls.
His dick gun.
Yeah, exactly. Grabs it, shoots Luke a bunch, gets free, goes to free Mitch. I love this scene where it just shows Mitch like naked and all beat up and tied up in like a like a cellar dungeon type thing. And you just hear all this gunfire and the muzzle flashes, but it's all focused on him. Like you don't actually see her rip through all these guys.
I love that. I wrote that down too. And you can see
great.
he's terrified.
Yeah. And then just like you just hear this firefight, and then she like pops open the door, and she's just standing there in the stairwell, dual wielding in the smoke. It's
and
so
he's
great.
just like, oh,
yeah, it's so good.
So good.
So after this, they take off and like go to some hotel or something, and she gets a little My Fair Lady glow up.
Yeah, kind of like a suit up in a way. Yeah. Chops all her hair off, dyes it blonde.
Yeah, she goes full Eminem and bleach blondes her hair. I like then she just flashes Mitch in order to rip his band-aids off. It's fantastic.
And also, did you notice how she threw her family picture in the trash and Mitch finds it in the trash?
Yeah. Because
she's just ready to like just leave that whole world behind. That's not her.
I wrote, she's all spy now.
She's all spy now. Name's Charlie the Spy. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, my name's Charlie the Spy. Good to meet you. Yeah, she's all about that life. I love the way like she drinks that shot. She's just like twirling around her fingers like poker chips or something.
Yeah, she like starts it on her like this.
I don't even know
how
how
her
she
face
did. That was
rolls it.
That was magic.
Does it and then rolls it the other way.
I don't know how she did that. I want to know how to do that. Do that.
Practice. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay, I will. So she calls up Mr. Perkins. He's like her former like handler in the spy. And turns out he's just working with Timothy. He's just all over the place, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand any of that. It's like, why was he with the guy she's supposed to kill and then with the guys that sent whatever, doesn't matter. Don't care.
Yeah.
She tries to bang Mitch, but he's like apparently a real decent guy, despite like his previous objectification of joggers.
yeah, and she's. I feel like because he calls her out on it because he feels like she's trying to bang him to kind of leave her old life behind. Yeah, he's totally right. 100%.
Right, but that virtue comes out of nowhere. For being honest. But it furthers the plot like the way it needs to. So fine, whatever. Yeah. She goes out and is like immediately approached by a man with a gun. Takes her to the alley to like shoot her, presumably. Then she's like not fazed by it at all. She's not even bothered. Mitch shows up and she's kind of annoyed by it.
She's like, "What are you doing here? I would have been here sooner, but I was thinking about that ham on rye line because when he has the gun, it's like, is that a gun? No, it's not a ham on rye."
Yeah, that line. He was looking for his action movie line. And yeah, she's a bit miffed, but 2 other goons shows up, and she just promptly kills all of them.
Just smokes them all, no problem.
So good. And then her and Mitch fuck off. They're driving away, and he's like, "What do you even need me for?" She's like, "Yeah, don't." Just probably kicks him out of the car. I'm moving.
Did you notice the Jersey line though? The dig on Jersey.
That was very good. I love that.
I got myself out of Beirut. I think I could get myself out of Jersey. Think again. Many have tried and failed. The whole population, as a matter of fact.
It's so good. Take that, New Jersey. You suck. So after he gets himself kicked out of the car, he just takes a little smoke break on the pavement for a bit.
I love that. He's just laying there. All of a sudden, a cigarette just comes into frame, and he's laying there blowing a dart on the street.
Yeah, just punching a dart on the street. And then she pulls back around, lets him back in.
Get in.
It's like, I actually have some use for you. She wants to leave the country, but she stashed a bunch of money and like fake IDs in Buffalo or something.
Yeah, that's what that key is that she mentioned at the beginning of the movie. Right. She has a key on a charm bracelet,
like daughter's charm bracelet or whatever. So, so she needs him to help her get that, I guess. They go back to her home, because they got to get the key. Before she gets in, she makes a neighbor kid piss himself.
Why did they have to show that? I felt like that was very unnecessary.
He's also punching darts like behind the wood chip. I don't know what he's doing. He's got like headphones on. Like I don't know what's going on. He's listening to like something at that. This is that time period down in 96.
96. I don't know. Listening to some Matchbox 20 or something.
A little Dave Matthews. So catalogue. So she makes ways into the house and like finds the thing real quick. Some dudes approach it. She also sees her like daughter during some like Christmas pageant, and gets all like sentimental about it. The guys that approach start chasing Mitch. She grabs some ice skates, I guess. I don't know where she got those from. Yeah. You ever try to lace up?
They were on like the
that takes about 45 minutes.
Yeah, but she does it in all of like 20 seconds.
She slapped them on like a headband. Like that was nothing. It's like one of those bracelets, that like roll up.
The slap it bracelets or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how she put those ice skates on, apparently. She's just firing off. She's Antoine over there, just going off on her skates. Takes off after them and shoots out their tires. Then I love she just like they crash onto like the frozen pond, and then she just goes pop, pop, pop. 3 shots, kills all 3 people in the car. It's so good.
And it just slides into the snowbank.
And
dead.
Yep. And then Timothy shows up and kidnaps her daughter during this like Christmas pageant. Like he is like
bold.
He's got like nitrous oxide from the dentist's office. He has like a full mask and everything on her. Like, what is going on?
And I was thinking, whoa, in the church, that's bold. And then some lady sees him, and he's just like, "You ready to have 2.4 children?" And she's like,
she's like,
"Oh, don't hurt me." He's like, "Merry Christmas."
Carry on, you creep.
Yeah, seriously.
So they speak and like tell her, like she goes to like a telephone company or something.
Yeah, because Timothy calls her and basically gives her an ultimatum, and it's just like, I'm gonna kill your daughter if you're not at this Holiday Inn in like 20 minutes. And they're like, "Where's nowhere we're gonna make it there in time?" So they go to this phone company and like basically hold everybody hostage and like run a patch.
Yeah. I mean, put a trap on their phone and figure out he's in like Niagara Falls. And so they show up to the location. Tons of goons there.
Of course.
We'll wait until night to get their like plan ready. They do some kisses. She moves in under the cover of darkness. Like, so she hits the apparently only guard there through the peephole. Peephole.
through the peephole.
Well, I don't know where she shot him. It didn't show.
I mean, hey, you never know. It could have ricocheted.
That stake. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's like the only guy. She just like grabs the kid with like no other issues. Runs out. Floodlights hit her as she tries to escape. All the bad guys swarm. She's like, I love how the main guy Timothy's like, we want her alive, and then like all the goons are just hip firing automatic weapons at her. Like, chill, guys.
I mean, that is anything's gonna kill her. It's that.
Yeah. She like falls into a cellar and like seemingly for no reason she shoots a bunch of kerosene tanks, like giant jugs or like barrels full of kerosene.
Yeah, just inexplicably in this basement, but also in theory, if you shot a steel barrel of kerosene,
it probably would. Honestly, like there's a whole thing. I was actually telling my dad while we watch this, like, you know how like they'll always throw a cigarette into like a puddle of gasoline and it blows up. Like if you actually did that, it wouldn't explode.
It's like it's like in Last Action Hero when Arnold is like in the real world and he's shooting the car and he's expecting it to explode.
That's not how things work. Like a tiny little spark like that doesn't. I mean, yeah, that's just not how things work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems to be nonsensical because nothing happens. It comes back, obviously. Like I don't know why she was doing that. Like there's no way she could have known how it would come back, but whatever. They get captured. Back with Perkins, he does like the villain speech about his whole plan. Something about like the World Trade Center bombing and like getting more funding for the CIA and like they have some chemical weapon bomb in a truck. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Basically, he wants more money from the government, and he says that if he fakes a terrorist attack, the government will give him more money to basically carry out all the bad shit that he wants to carry out.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
And they just decide to stick her and her kid in a walk-in freezer.
And let them just freeze to death? Okay.
Yeah. It's total like James Bond like fat man with a white cat, in a swivel chair type moment.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
I was petting a cat there for anyone who couldn't see. So yeah, and then as they're getting left there, she's like, "Ayo, like look in that kid's eyes, cuz that's your baby." She goes all Maury on Timothy.
You are the father.
Exactly. Which I thought like because he's like, oh, blah blah blah, fuck it, whatever, and then like he's like, yeah, look in your eyes, and then he does, and like he has a moment where he's like, oh no, like it seemed to affect him, which I thought was gonna come back later. Doesn't at all. Like why have that moment where he's like
from him?
Like he did have a moment where it was like, oh, like that kind of got to him. But why have that if it doesn't? That was weird. I thought
maybe he stuffed it. Maybe he stuffed it down or something.
Yeah, but why put that in the movie?
True.
I don't know. Maybe a misdirect. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So they lock him in there and leave because, of course, they're gonna blow up this bomb in this truck, send it into town. Okay. She's working on escaping. Pulls like a meat hook down. Starts like digging a hole. I must have missed this because she had a little doll. Her daughter did, like Sammy Wetzelot or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just filled with kerosene, I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Did she fill that up with that? Did I miss that?
I must have missed that too. Maybe it happened in the dark or something.
Yeah, I mean, like this movie's ridiculous, but I'm just gonna assume that I missed the quick little because they cover all their base. Like they have heavy quotes, reasons for everything that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what happened. And they make that doll piss all over the floor, and it goes out the little hole she dug to the other kerosene that she,
shot everywhere.
Yeah, conveniently. Tries to get it to light, tries to get a spark, can't do it. Luckily, she'd given her daughter a book of matches.
To light a candle?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it all comes together fine, whatever. It's stupid, but they gave, again, reasons. You gave me reasons. Fine.
Yeah. And then when she right before she puts the match in the gasoline, she turns to her daughter and goes, "Should we get a dog?"
It's so weird.
Like what? Why? Why? Okay, sure, I guess.
She's trying to be mom. Lights it up. I love that Mitch is upstairs, like, getting tortured, and as it explodes, he just blows out through the window and, like, through the, like, vacancy sign of the hotel. It's just incredible.
And you just hear Sam Jackson going, "Ah!"
You fucked
the entire time.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so they all escape, whatever. And Mitch is like, let me like go down there and deal with all these goons while she's like on Overwatch with this sniper rifle. And he goes down, mows a bunch of motherfuckers down, starts taking shots, getting hit, right and left. Think he's dead. She goes after the truck bomb. She like commandeers the truck, and then like the brakes are out or something. I didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah, like she hits the truck with the bomb on it that her daughter also happens to be in.
Yeah, she's in like a dog
box in the back.
She's in like a dog carrier, like that you put on a plane under your seat, like. But she's just there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she can't get it to stop, so she decides to drive through a brick wall before telling absolutely no one to suck her dick.
Suck my
Who's
dick.
she talking to?
All of you bastards.
There's nobody there.
Nobody. No,
Who's she talking to?
Nobody.
So yeah, they crash and whatever. She like gets out and like flies off into a snowbank or something. I don't know. It was wild.
Reminded me of Terminator 2 when the truck and Arnold is on the truck and then
a little bit
rolling,
but way less good. So then her kid's just like, fine, I guess, whatever. She has a fight with Timothy. He shows up. They punch a bit. They fall down this like hole somewhere that was just like there, like some like well, I don't know, in the middle of the city.
Yeah, he falls into some like well or some giant pipe or something.
I don't know. Caught on a net, and but he falls into something. I don't know. You think he's dead, but he's not. She goes back to her daughter in the truck, who's just fine after that massive collision. And then like a helicopter shows up. She shoots a bunch of dudes, and like they catch on fire. I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but
a lot of shit is happening.
Be on fire for a plot point later. And there's like 7 minutes left till the thing blows. She's like telling her kid, she's like, get out of here, run. And she just lays down like big old idiot,
And she starts hitting her mom, and she's like, stop being a little baby.
Yeah, the kid comes back, does her best Simba impression. It's like,
wake up! Which is what her mom, like in her lapse of Charlie Baltimore was telling her at the beginning of the movie. And then she's like in her walkie-talkie, she wakes up, gets a walkie-talkie. She's like, somebody get this motherfucker off me. All of a sudden, Sam Jackson drives through and he's like, you can't kill me, motherfuckers.
Well, Timothy shows up before that and starts shooting.
Oh, right.
He ain't dead. Right. He's in a helicopter, I guess.
He didn't hear.
And that's when she gets on like the CB radio. And that's when Mitch didn't hear no bell.
Oh man, it was.
He comes Sam Jackson to pick him up. It's so ridiculous. Just firing off a ramp like over the feds.
So good.
And then she uses this like the flaming dude from the previous helicopter as a counterweight to like pull a machine gun off him and while like on some Christmas lights and just blast Timothy in the helicopter.
That was awesome.
Die screaming, motherfucker!
And then she slides down, and every light is just on her way down.
So they drive off and like wildly on fire, but to safety. I loved how the back of the half of the car was just roasting on fire.
Yeah, that bomb was huge. Huge.
So they escape. Everyone's good. Later on, she just calls the president for a chat, and she's like, "I got some like demands." And apparently one of those was Larry King showing up with Mitch as a guest.
And I love
his line. You got it?
Yeah, he's like, with women, what does he say? I'm frank and I'm earnest. In New York, I'm frank, and in Chicago, I'm earnest. And he like just has this little smirk on his face. I legitimately laughed out.
That was fantastic. So we have that for some reason. Then her and her, I guess her husband or boyfriend or whatever that relationship was, they just like have some chicken on a log, play with a knife, and then credits. Oh my.
Oh man, this movie was so much fun.
I loved it. Great choice. I'd never seen it. I was so pleasantly surprised.
So much fun. I've got some trivia if you want to hear it.
Oh, hit us with some trivia.
On The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon in 2014, or on January 14th, 2019, Samuel Jackson listed Mitch as his favorite role.
Oh, he was having a blast.
Oh, he was having such a great time. Screenwriter Shane Black sold the script for the movie with the intention of Rennie Harling directing it and Gina Davis starring in it. Harlan then told him that he and Davis were contractually bound to make Cutthroat Island 1995 first, which became one of the biggest box office bombs of all time.
That was
Black later
for Waterworld.
Yeah. Black later stated that this may have caused bad advertisement that worked against the movie as well.
This movie was fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Fuck the haters.
Yep.
The ice skating scene was scripted to end with Samantha performing a double axel flip and simultaneously firing over her upside down head. After 2 aerial rig configurations in sub-zero conditions and several attempts at green screening failed to hold any convincing fluency to the action, it was dropped from the final cut of the film.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So fair. The film is famous for being one of 3 big budget films that came out of indie studio New Line Cinema in 1996 and underperformed. The other 2 were The Island of Dr. Moreau and Last Man Standing.
Oh man, Island of Dr. Moreau. That was what's his name last?
Brando.
There's so much to that movie. Like the director was fired, and then like he just didn't leave. He like lived in a tent outside,
and he became an extra.
Yeah, just like psycho stuff.
That's it.
Like,
oh my god, there's so much shit about that. Yeah. Yvonne Zima, who plays Charlie's daughter, Caitlin, would work with Shane Black again nearly 20 years later on films Iron Man 3 and Nice Guys.
Oh. One of those is good.
Yes, exactly. During development, New Line Cinema considered turning the lead character into a male. Steven Seagal and Sylvester Stallone were considered as suitable choices.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Female rapper and Murder Inc. recording artist Tiffany Lane uses the name Charlie Baltimore as her moniker. Lane was a lover of famous New York rapper The Notorious B.I.G., who had recorded a song called Long Kiss Goodnight for his 1997 album Life After Death.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. The Hennessy family was played by 3 people who appeared in Die Hard with a Vengeance as well. Samuel Jackson, Sharon Washington, and Edwin Hodge, who is also in The Purge.
Nice.
That we watched. During filming, Gina Davis was married to Rennie Harlan. Samuel Jackson had previously appeared in Jurassic Park opposite Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum, who also later became what?
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. Opposite Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum, who also later became romantically involved. Dern had previously dated Harlan, while Goldblum had previously been married to Davis.
Wow.
Yeah. Craig Ferguson auditioned for the role of Timothy.
Craig Ferguson.
That would have been very random.
Yeah, that would have been odd.
Let's see here. So last but certainly not least, it's not body count, but it's something that I like. In the first draft of the screenplay, Mitch, Samuel Jackson, dies of his bullet wounds. Test audiences liked his character and performance so much so that the ending was reshot, letting him live to save the day and redeem himself.
That makes sense. I mean, I thought he was pretty dead.
He was looking pretty fucked up.
He wasn't looking good.
But that's it for my trivia.
I love it. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was so much fun. So much fun. What are we watching next week?
Oh, coming up next week. You know how I feel about Ben Affleck, and I want him to not be sad anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We do movies for him, and we will be doing the classic that I've never seen, Reindeer.
Me neither. I haven't seen it either. I'm actually really excited.
I am too. I've been needing to see it. Like, I think it's just perfect for what we do.
Yeah. Ben Affleck, Charlize Theron, Gary Sinise, I believe, is the bad guy.
Perfect.
Can't wait.
Oh man. Yeah. How about? I mean, that's about all I got. Why don't you?
Yeah.
So you can find us.
You can find us at www.actionmoviebookclub.com. You could also find us on Twitter at ActionMovieBC or on Instagram at Action Movie Book Club. We're also on YouTube at Action Movie Book Club. So look us up on there for our videos of the podcast, little shorts. Hit a little like and subscribe on there. Also give us a little like and subscribe on Spotify or wherever you listen to our podcasts. Boost us up in the algorithm. Get us in other people's ears because we love doing what we do and we want to keep doing it. So any help would be appreciated.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Great choice.
Thank you.
Forward to next week. Keep this holiday theme going strong.
Yes. Anything else you want to add?
That's about all I got. Why don't you take us out?
Happy trails, Hans.
You foxy bitch!